Hi friends, today I'm going to be spending some time in the kitchen with one of my sons who's off from school, and we're going to be making some Christmas gifts for their teachers. I love to make homemade gifts at Christmas and any time of year actually. I just think it's so much more personal, and I've always had really good feedback from the teachers when I give them a bag of goodies that are all homemade. They especially love the marshmallows you'll see me making later on. So I'm hoping that this year will be another winner and they'll really enjoy this little box of coziness that I'm going to be preparing for them. For these candles, I'm using our Oily Houses recipe, and I'm melting 450 grams of beeswax. And while that's melting, I'm going to prepare the little pots that I'm going to pour the wax into. So I've just used some pots that we got from some desserts that I bought from the supermarket the other day. I've stuck the wick to the bottom of the pot with some double-sided sticky tape. And now we're just doing a mixture of some Christmassy scents with some essential oils. And it's, I think, 30 to 50 drops of essential oil per pot. And I'm using some orange, some cinnamon, some clove, and some ginger for a kind of a gingerbread feel to it. Now the wax will take quite a long time to melt because there's quite a lot there. So in the meantime, I'm getting on with a little hot chocolate mix that's going to go in a jar. Now for this hot chocolate mix, I'm using half a cup of cocoa powder. Now this is pure cocoa powder, very good quality. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of raw cane sugar and about half a cup of chocolate chips, and I will probably also add about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now as you can see, I got that cocoa powder all over the place, so that's just a reminder to me that it's always better to try and get these dried goods in jars and containers rather than leaving them in the packet. So in goes the sugar. This is raw cane sugar, and then on top of that I'm going to put the chocolate chips. So this makes a pretty jar where you can see all of the layers, and this is enough hot chocolate mixture for 1 litre of milk. It's very good with semi-skimmed milk, but you can use whole milk if you prefer, or even add a little bit of cream for some extra luxury. This hot chocolate mixture is completely dairy free, so you can gift it to somebody that has a dairy allergy and they can just use a dairy free milk and enjoy it. Now once the wax has melted, I'm pouring it into these pots. This is where you have to be really careful if you're doing it with children, because this wax is extremely hot and will burn them really quite badly. So being very careful, you pour the wax into the pots. Now I think that I made a bit of a mistake here. I think I should have waited for it to cool down a little bit, because later on when it had cooled in the pot, there were craters around the wick, which is a bit of a shame. I managed to pour a little bit extra of wax on the top and sort of fill in the craters, but it would have been a lot better, I think, if I'd let it cool down in the jug slightly and poured it when it was at a little lower temperature. I don't think I would have had the same problem. These marshmallows are a winner every time. It's just amazing how light and fluffy and sweet and delicious they are. I make them with egg white, which is my favourite, but I've since learnt that you can make it with just gelatin and honey, and that is also really good. But today is egg whites and sugar, so I've got some sugar and some glucose syrup in there, and I'm going to make a syrup out of that. And here I'm measuring out some water to soak the gelatin leaves in. So we've got 450 grams of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon of liquid glucose. And here I'm soaking 9 gelatin sheets in 140 millilitres of water. Now I forgot when I was measuring out the sugar and the glucose that I needed to put some water in the pan as well to make the syrup. So there's 200 millilitres of water going in there. Thankfully it all melted down together and it was a really good syrup, and I didn't need to worry, but I did wonder if it was going to work. It all turned out fine, so that was good. Syrup needs to reach 127 degrees Celsius, so in the meantime I've greased this baking dish and I have dusted it with corn flour and icing sugar so that the marshmallows don't stick to it. Now I'm going to start whipping up these egg whites. There are 2 egg whites in there and they need to be whisked until they're stiff. When the syrup is up to temperature, I'm going to add the gelatin sheets and the water that they have been soaking in. Now you need to be careful here because it does bubble up quite a lot, so just make sure your hands are out of the way. And then I'll pour that syrup into the jug so that I can pour it very slowly and carefully into the egg whites. And that needs to keep whisking for 5 to 10 minutes until the mixture holds its shape on the whisk. And then I will be able to pour the whole thing into the prepared baking dish. And the last thing I'm going to add is some vanilla extract, and that just gives a wonderful flavour to the marshmallows. Now my son and I are making some Christmas ornaments, and we're just using some air dry clay for this. I love this idea. I saw a picture on Instagram and I thought that it'd be really fun to reproduce. I think that we rolled out the clay too thin. In the future, I would probably leave it a good ½ centimetre thick, if not even thicker than that. And then we're just pressing in this leaf here. It's a fir leaf, and I think it looks really pretty. Apart from rolling out the clay a little bit thicker, the other thing that I would do differently is I would wash the leaves before pressing them in, because these did leave a few bits of dust on there that made it look a bit dirty. But apart from that, I think it turned out really well, and it's a fun activity to do with the kids and just a nice way of bringing nature into the home at Christmas. The marshmallows have been chilling in the fridge for over an hour, well over an hour actually, so they're nice and firm now. They're well set, and I'm dusting the work surface with icing sugar and corn flour, and I'm just going to cut them into large chunks so that I can put them into a nice gift bag. When they're all cut into chunks, I'm going to dust each one separately in corn flour and icing sugar, which will just prevent them from sticking together. This is such a fun, delicious gift to give people, and it's also really good fun to make. You just need a bit of equipment and some glucose syrup, which can be a bit difficult to come by, but apart from that, it's pretty simple and straightforward. We love these marshmallows. We really enjoy eating them with hot chocolate or even just on their own. It's one of our favourite treats, and I hope you'll enjoy it too. Thank you for following along with me today. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like and comment if you enjoyed this video. and I will see you next time in the kitchen for more homemade food from scratch, allergy-friendly meal ideas, and lots of sourdough. Happy Christmas. Bye.